So apart from the Spirit of God, apart from God's intervention in our lives, we misplace our joy. We misplace our joy. And it goes back to the very act of Adam and Eve's rebellion in the Garden of Eden. Van, please read Genesis 3, verse 6.
The woman saw that the tree was good for food and delightful to look at, and that it was desirable for obtaining wisdom. So she took some of its fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it.
So in the Garden of Eden, God issued one prohibition. He told Adam, and therefore Eve, that he and she should not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But apparently they thought that there was more joy to be found outside of God's will than inside God's will. Why else would they have disobeyed God? So, Van, I ask you, what are some ways that you misplace your joy, whether it's before you became a Christian or even now?
Prior to becoming a Christian, I misplaced my joy in many ways, particularly in seeking out joy in people and things rather than God. Things like drugs and alcohol, partying on the weekend and living for the weekend. But then people like those who would encourage me in that lifestyle. And so I found pleasure in partying and pleasing people. But looking back at it, it was all temporary, fleeting pleasure that was dishonoring to God.
And I think it's important to clarify, God created us to enjoy people and things. But the question is, what or who do we enjoy above all? And when we enjoy people and things more than we value God, that's when it becomes idolatry. So praise God for the gift of sex in the context of marriage and good food and fun and family. But we misplace our joy when we disregard God and disregard His Word and think that we can find superior pleasure, lasting pleasure, apart from God's involvement in our lives.